I'm now live. It says, so someone posted something about desk pens on one of the Facebook groups, and um, I thought I would respond. Uh, and it's hard to do that succinctly, or it's hard for me to do it succinctly. So I'm going to do it succinctly now. Okay, let's pretend you have a desk and you have enough room for a stand, and you have enough room for a desk pen holder and its stand. What's neat about a desk pen, and you have a servant that tidies up your desk before you get up and make sure the pen is ready to go, has ink in it, and it hasn't dried out. Let's just pretend that that has happened. You need all of those things almost. When you have a desk pen that's working and functional and not dried out, you just grab it out of the holder and you write. You don't have to uncap it. You don't have to take it out of your pocket. You don't have to post the cap on the back or put the cap on afterwards. The ease of taking it out of the socket and using it is really, really, really great. And it's almost magical compared to uncapping a regular pen. But it does dry out. But let's pretend for a second that all things being equal, I have at my fingertips, or I can just think and suddenly it will appear in my hand a uncapped fountain pen that's ready to write, or a desk pen that's ready to write. The regular fountain pen has a cap on the back, which, I'll just show you for God's sake. How difficult is it here? See how long it's taking me to do this? It has this thing back here. So there's this bump between here and here that hits you in the hand right there. And if you're holding it in different locations, if you're clutching your pen down here and you strangle the poor little nib, then maybe not won't be a problem, but it's bumpy. There's threads here, there's a cap here that's bumpy. What's neat about a desk pen is for the most part, it's a smooth transition all the way up and down the pen. So you can hold the pen back here and you can, check off your little tick marks on your, kick Mrs. O'Donnell and her 18 children out of her house. I'm foreclosing on her. Donate more money to Donald Trump. Buy more guns, or whatever you do with your pen and your money is up to you. That's not what I do. Write a check to save the whales. I don't know what I would do with I don't have a list that I check off, but the idea is it's really neat to be able to have a pen that you can easily move and position in your hand. Maybe it's not so important for writing, but it is for drawing, and having the ability to move easily between all of these positions and rotate the pen without having the clip bump into you and the cap fall off. It's really really neat. But the flaw of these pens are they dry out. There's a couple of pens that don't do that. The Parker 51, I think, would stay pretty moist in there. Some Schaefers work pretty well. They're not as airtight as you'd like them to be. But if you have your servant, your man, we'll call him, or lady, girl, if you have your girl come in and tidy up the desk and dust off your piles of cash, he or she could also make sure the pen is ready to go and filled with ink. If you're at your office, there used to be things called office boys. They usually were in high school and had pimples, but they were hired to do things like fill the ink bottle. They weren't custodians in the sense of um, they weren't vacuuming and sweeping up. They were, they would make sure that each desk in the office had paper clips. Each desk had ink in the inkwell. Each desk had pencils and paper that they needed. They were a humanoid version of Office Max that would be supplying your desk every morning with what you needed. Maybe you could go out and get that pastrami sandwich too. Maybe that was what office boys did back in those days. There's an ad that I had for Waterman ink, and you could buy ink in little tiny bottles. You could buy them in pints or quarts or gallons. The gallons look like a big jug that had a little uh, thing here to put your finger through as you poured the booze down your gullet. But if it was Waterman ink, it had one of these things, and the ad for it, or for the use of this particular bottle, it had a special kind of a spout that would, the spout had two spouts, one for the liquid to come out and one for the air to go in, so it wouldn't go gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Anyway, it was advertised as so easy, an office boy can use it. So office boys were uh, generally, I guess, sloppy and maybe kind of dumb. Um, so easy, an office boy can use it. So if you have all of those things and you have a desk pen, or even if you have a desk pen and you don't have all those things, just fill it up one day and sit at your desk when you know you have lots of guns to buy and KKK rallies to go to and Trump hats to buy and all the other stuff that people will, in this group, which sadly is a large group of people, um, way too large a group of people, try the desk pen out, and you might find that it's actually kind of an interesting way to do it. And move your hand around up and down on this thing to try out the different balances and just how different this is to hold the pen like this instead of like that. But try moving it around a bit. It's really, really a joy to do when you're using a desk pen. It's not as easy with a fountain pen. And I just think that it's a very interesting experience. And I never really paid attention to it until I saw a video of one of my favorite artists, Saul Steinberg, writing or drawing with a quill pen. And he held it way back here, this far away. And he was doing these huge drawings, holding the pen like this, not like this, like I draw, but way back here. And I thought, oh, I can try that. And in so trying, I discovered that this action of moving the pen up and down is kind of fun. You do get your dextal, there's oral. It's like smoking a cigarette. There's an oral fixation, and watching the smoke is fun. And if cigarettes didn't have smoke, fewer people would smoke, because part of the fun of smoking is watching that. Part of having a cigarette in your hand is probably, playing with how you're holding it. And that's something that is easy to do with this. I get a dextral, is that right? Dexter or sinistral, if I was left-handed, a dextral joy of sort of manipulating this, and the feeling the difference of the balance, and the difference of making a line when the point is way over there rather than right down here. It's it's an interesting thing. So those of you that actually use a pen, I'm not talking about those collectors over there that just collect them and hoard them and put them in cases and never use them. But if those people that actually use them, try it, one of these, and see if you understand what I'm trying to convey. The end. Bye.